Welcome everyone back to the Pommy and Oz channel. If you're new around here, please make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Can't thank you enough for the support you've shown in the last couple of weeks. We've got a few changes. We've got the Pommy Ponders show is going to be tomorrow night. We've had to work some things around. We've got some trouble going live at the moment on YouTube, so I had to sort that out and push a few people back. So bear with us. But we are back to regular programming, and we've got a new show here, the 5 takeaways from the game versus Fremantle. So without further ado, let's get into it. So it was a long time since Carlton, if ever won a game up at Adelaide, and they did that in a very, very controversial circumstances, it has to be said. But is it controversial? I don't think so. I think it's part of the game, but the Blues finally broke their deadlock. So let's have a look at what that is. And for me, it's pressure, pressure, pressure. Carlton currently are the number 1 side at pressure applied in the competition, 191.8 in its pressure rating, and number 9 in pressure received, being the number 1 side with plus 10 in the comp. And that comes down to players that come in who are just absolutely remarkable. Corey Durden, Fantasia, Owies all conspired for 19 tackles inside 50, showcasing Carlton's new brand of really trying to lock it in inside 50. They have been really tough to really get some fluid ball movement. And this game for me was the ultimate test against Fremantle, a side that really focuses on slow, methodical play from out the back half of the ground, and Carlton looked to hurry them up. Corey Durden for me was paramount to this, leading the way in tackles with 7 inside 50 tackles and really hurrying up the back half of the Fremantle's ground, particularly players like Luke Ryan, who we know can get on top and quite easily hurt you on the counter. Carlton really do look to spread this play well, and this is also some lesser names. Ollie Hollands really with a hard running, over 15 kilometres joint on ground with his mate Matty Cottrell. They help push up as well and really take the wide options. Fremantle are a side that looks to make you spread out wide and slow your own game down, and Carlton negated this by making their options harder and making them take the risky kicks. Corey Durden was splendid in this game, and honestly, this is a key paramount to Carlton's effort. We constantly talk about Carlton subs, and are they imaginative enough? Are they exciting enough? And it's got to be said that Matty Owies with 3 forward 50 tackles is again another masterstroke by Michael Voss himself. It has been a real tough little long conversation we've had with subs of yore. Is it the next best player? Is it a systems-based type exercise? With Elijah Hollands going on, you are replacing him with a total different player, a player that doesn't exit inside 50 if he can. And what we saw here is Carlton just literally adapted to the game plan. Matty Cottrell started to slide into the Elijah Hollands role. Matt Kennedy shared them duties, and ultimately they had a game-deciding contribution to this game. But it allowed Carlton again to exercise forward 50, and a lot is made of Carlton's forward 50. Can small forwards kick goals? When you've got 2 pillars like that, you know they're going to kick 90% of the goals. It creates opportunities, and it stagnated their game. A lot has been made on Fremantle being depressing and playing a negating game style, but Carlton worked their way around this by being really hard at the ball, and Matty Owies was a real engine when he came in, taking his goal incredibly well, but also executing them basic fundamentals, which ultimately made Fremantle look for different avenues to go. A shrewd masterstroke from Voss, and something that's exciting. Back half transition has been really exciting, and this is really case in point with Zach Williams' burst through stoppage, and we'll come on to stoppage a bit later with the Blues, but this is a really important avenue here, the direct running and kicking of these 2 players. Zach Williams went at a staggering 100% by foot, which just shows you how he can move the chains. It was an incredible game by Zach Williams, showcased by that burst and blitz through the corridor. Carlton have to get the ball moving, and Jordan Boyd again hanging out the back of defensive half stoppages, but also looking to get the ball moving into the hands of his halfback flankers and his wingers and get the ball away from Carlton's goal and setting up attack. This is a real key paramount of Michael Voss's game, And it's no surprise that Carlton's transition game has gone head and shoulders above the competition from last year because of the way that they utilise their ball. They're looking for ball retention, but they're looking to move it positively. And this game was the hardest game in all of games. Fremantle make it hard to be positive, and Carlton always stuck to their task at hand and stuck within arm's reach. And ultimately, Fremantle paid the price for not putting Carlton away, albeit not being great offensively, Carlton, this game. They were great defensively, which made this game even lower scoring than we expected. The return of Brodie Kemp, a staggering 14 marks from Brodie Kemp, who looked assured at the back. He had these one braid fade when he dragged the ball in, which is a little bit stiff on him to really single him out for that, because aside from that, he looks much the pole position for that secondary role behind Jacob Weitering. Strong in the air, strong defensively, and looking to take the game on with pace. He's really put himself at pole position for that role. What I really like about Brodie Kemp is his ability to play loose but also play tight. And that is something that he's really worked hard on over the 2 years we've seen him in and out of the Carlton side. He isn't now averse of sticking his guns and holding his body position, but his strength is peeling off and looking to intercept. And with Jacob Weitering down the back, he's always going to be a handful for the forwards. It's quite interesting this week. We saw Tracy and Taberner double team Weitering. Such is the effect of Jacob Weitering in them defensive half of the ground. But again, high tackle numbers from the key defenders, both of them hitting way into the AFL elite. And this is a key pillar of Carlton's system at the moment. Everyone tackles, everyone defends, everyone works hard. And something that we're really excited about to see how that presents itself as they start to get a bit of synergy, but also start to get used to kicking arse and taking names. Stoppage and clearance differential, something that everyone is talking about a lot. And this time last year, Carlton were 4th for stoppage clearance differential and 9th for clearance differential. This year, they're 15th and 17th respectively. And what has changed? Obviously, it's our ball movement. Carlton last year were looking to get the ball away from stoppage and clearance at all costs at times. That was their plan B, and that was the big reason that people like Kingy and co really patronised Carlton's team and its fan base by saying it's not sustainable. They've shifted that narrative now, and they're looking to play a little bit more with the ball. And that is probably one of the big issues with the Carlton stoppage and clearance. The overuse. They're looking for that extra handball. They're looking to use a true clearance. And this is something we focused on last year quite a bit. We've lost Sam Doherty, who was a big part of that, who did get Carlton moving the ball forward and trying to get it forward. And that makes sense, especially with the onus on the forward pressure. If he gets in them hot zones, Carlton can create recycled stoppages and ultimately maximise their inside 50s. Where is them options, though, to change it? I do feel like it has to change up. And at the moment, everyone is kind of a copy and pasted version of another player in there. Sam Walsh is obviously a big part of that. And it's no surprise that Carlton's stoppage and clearance differential is totally different with Sam Walsh in. The reason being he attacks the game by foot, he isn't scared to take the game on, and he's very good at finding them little holes and crevices that them tough stoppage and clearance sides do face. It does need to be noted, though, that the teams we've played, Brisbane, Richmond, North Melbourne, to a lesser extent, but Fremantle do flood that area and do make it incredibly hard to move it by hand and foot. So that is a big part of it. We haven't played these more free-flowing offensive sides as of yet. But Sam Walsh will make a difference. Mark Pittonet is another one who really does look to spread the load. But it is important to see that Cowan have spread the load in this because of their multiple rotations. I do think a big part of it is understated, the fact that they're not used to playing this system, and it's something that's a work in progress. They haven't been absolutely destroyed from this avenue in the terms of scores against. The Blues have found a way. They have actually lured teams into traps as well. Richmond and Fremantle here, allowing that long clearance from stoppage and clearance and ultimately intercepting it and hitting them on the counter. So it is kind of a myriad. Where it's depreciated, it's been gained in its ability to intercept and counter-attack while a team is heavily condensed in a certain area, which is the issue with stoppage and clearance and the issue that teams had with Carlton last year. Some smokies, though, for this role. Obviously, Sam Walsh is going to come back, But one to watch this space on is our boy Alex Pomcotter Chincotter, who is playing the Sam Doherty role in the VFL game the other week. He showcased hard tackling, hard edge, and also run and foot. And it's incidental that Chincotter is one of the fastest clock players at the football club. A little bit of running speed. He was very efficient with the ball, and he is one to watch this space on as Carlton progress, because obviously, as we know, based on the VFL, that was a resting role on the wing, but also defensive halfback. So this could be a real one there where someone is going to get a gig. Matt Kennedy, he's showcased his difference, but again, very similar type of player to Hewitt and Cripps. Carlton do need that point of difference in the midfield. It's probably Sam Walsh. Chera has become a more defensive sweeping role with Hewitt, and Cripps actually becoming the extra. It is definitely an area of concern. The problem is that the obvious option, bringing Pitternet in, robs Peter to pay Paul, and you will see a less mobile midfield quartet when he is there, which is a big part of Carlton's transition game. So it's about getting the balance right, because at the moment Carlton are picking very balanced sides. But I do suspect that to change and will be edited. And I would expect that Adelaide, a team that do like to run and stun through the corridor, we should see a different type of setup as opposed to swinging players back. George Hewitt, though, is in remarkable form at the minute. And while he is stopping these runners through, it's not really an area of concern. It could be one, though, that when you start playing your teams like Melbourne and co, that it could be exposed, particularly Collingwood, who like to run and stun through this and also have strong defensive structure there. But it is an area of concern. They're the 5 things we've learned today. Let me know what you learned. Peace, love and light. Pom out.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad.